other day, I went to see a movie. It was 2 p.m. and I was alone. The theater nearest our apartment is extremely comfortable, with large, fluffy, fully reclining seats and swinging armrests for easy. Yet the movie on the screen are never romantic. Most are big budget, fair full of CGI and superheroes and emoji. There's rarely something I'd pay almost $20 to see. On this day, however, they were showing the latest film about the demonic doll. In fact, this latest is the prequel to the other Annabelle films. It tells the backstory of the doll's possession. To my disappointment, it did nothing to address the question of why Annabelle resembles and especially Charlie McCarthy. Doll horror movies are rarely scary, which is strange given how uncanny many people find dolls themselves. Still, they have become a tired drop. As with clowns, the idea of the doll is at this point scarier than any off-screen reality. But I always go to see any movie in which a doll plays the part of a murderous villain. And although I am a great defender of doll life and have never found my own dolls the least bit sinister, I will admit that one of the scariest ghost stories I've ever heard revolved around a doll. Although there were certain to the story, the basic premise with this: a pilot crashed in the mountains and was rescued from certain snowy death by a group of mysterious villagers. They nursed him back to health and treated him with the utmost generosity and kindness. Of him only one thing was asked: never look behind the curtain. The pilot had seen the curtain, of course. He had seen his caretakers paying their ceremonial visits to the curtain, and whatever denied it protested, making obeisance and bringing gifts of fruits and flowers. One day, naturally, his curiosity got the better of him. He peered behind the beaded curtain, and there was the most beautiful doll he had ever seen. Exquisitely dressed, each tiny finger capped with a long, purple razor-sharp fingernail. Something about the doll called to him irresistibly, and as if in trance, he reached for the doll. When he lifted her from the pedestal, he thought he heard a muffled scream. The pilot nearly made it home. He crashed mere miles from the home he shared with his youngest daughter. What the police could not explain, after they explored the wreckage, was the manner of his death. He seemed to have been slashed by a long razor-sharp talons of some wild creature. Baffled, the police returned his possessions to his daughter, including the exquisite purple nail doll. At this point, the story would follow one of another of paths. Sometimes the doll would attack the girl's drum nurse. Sometimes She turned on the girl herself, having become jealous of other friends and toys, and would slowly scratch her way through the walls in a quest for revenge. The telling was always accompanied by sound effects for maximum petrification. I love the story of the doll with the purple fingernails. I would ask for it all the time. My uncle was also kind enough to try it out in every one of my birthday parties, where it was always well received. In retrospect, I guess the story owns elements to the plots of Mathura and Lost Horizon and the Moonstone and various Indian Jones. The basic greedy plunders narrative, but I thought I was the best, scariest thing I ever heard. My uncle was a terrified narrator, and the variations and the telling only added to her. The doll with the purple fingernails had a respite-like ability to defy death, so her saga was never ending. And so, this week, I found myself going to this movie. As I entered the theater, I walked in and sat in my seat. They were all comfortable, but for some reason mine was very comfortable. I sat down and I was on my phone scrolling through Instagram, waiting for the movie to start. After 10 minutes, the movie started playing. I put my phone down, started watching the film. In the middle of the film, I felt an arm behind me, like someone was trying to touch me. I turned around, just for it to be nobody. I thought I was imagining things, so I continued watching the movie. But again, this time I felt it again, on the other side of my shoulder. I looked behind, there was nobody. I looked under the seat, there was nobody. I got goosebumps, but I was telling myself that it was probably nothing. That I was probably just imagining things because I was so excited to see this movie. Before the movie ended, I felt something hold my neck, and I didn't realize until one of the workers working at the theater was waking me up, telling me that I had slept for the entire movie. I was confused. I told him that I was watching the whole movie and I hadn't fallen asleep. He told me in the middle of the movie, he heard me scream and passed out. He said that he thought that I was just paranoid of the movie and went to sleep. But I know what I felt was real. Later that day, I walked home. I went to go use the bathroom to wash my face. But when I walked in the bathroom and I looked in the mirror, there was red scratches all over my neck and all over my shoulder. I was confused. What could this be? Was I imagining things? Did I hurt myself? I was confused. A few days later, I went back to the movie theater. I walked in and it was the same worker in front of me. He had asked me if I was okay for what happened last time. I told him if I could see the cameras, and he said of course. He took me to his management office and played the recording a few days ago when I went. And in the middle of the movie, I seen myself screaming then passing out. I was shocked. I told him to zoom into my face, and he did. For some reason, the red scratches were already there. I was scared and I was confused. I walked back home, but I found a letter from my room saying, "Don't come back.